We might be here a while, bud. Fuck.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
This is Matt Gordon.
Hey, what's going on, Matt Gordon?
It's a beautiful day in Colorado Springs.
We are. We're on location again.
We Bullhucker remote.
We're going to see something pretty badass tonight, bro.
I cannot wait. I'm see some of that, maybe a little bit of that action. You know what I'm talking about?
Some pro wrestling, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you know who can actually tell us more about this?
Our
guest today.
I have a name for it, but
the owner of Colorado Springs Wrestling, right? Mr. Randy Root. How are you, buddy?
Hey, whoa. That's Ruthless Randy Root. All right. Make sure and get that correct. All right. But no. Hey, guys, thanks for having me on the show, man. It's great to be on here. I've heard a lot of good things. Thanks for coming out. You guys are in for a real big treat, and we'll go over a lot of that later on. But, yeah, it's going to be a rocking show tonight. You guys are at a really good one, to be perfectly honest.
What's the name of this one tonight?
This is the Red Rock Rumble.
Okay.
Brought to you by the guys at Springs Into Action. This is going to be one massive show. We're about 20 seats away from sold out.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Well, our mutual friend, Adrian Grimm to you, Booby to me. What's up, Boobs? Love you. He gave us a big list of stuff because you do a shitload of these things, man.
Yes.
And he's like, just pick one. And I picked a different one. He's like, why don't you pick the April one? It's like, why don't you just tell me to begin with there? Then Adrian, let's be transparent, you and me, buddy. But before we get started, I want to say, welcome to the Bullhucker Podcast. If you are new to the podcast, what it is we bring on a guest, Mr. Root today, Ruthless. It's on his shirt, man. It's on his shirt, man. How can I get that wrong?
That you guys can get at the merch area, by the way.
Oh, good to know.
Cheap plug.
We might. But we have Randy coming on today, and what Randy's going to do is he's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's the kicker. 2 of the stories are true. 1 is either made up or borrowed, and we're not going to go into detail. I don't want you to give it away. So, and at the end of the podcast, Matt and I are going to try and guess which one is which, right?
I need a comeback on this one.
Yeah, you lost both last time.
2 times in a row the last time. The championship belt has been removed, and I need to earn it again.
Matt was undefeated for a long time, bro.
You guys realize you do have a professional wrestler on your show now. A man who makes a living telling stories.
Yes.
I love it.
So, and so good luck.
I'm going to do my best.
Also, you can check out all our stuff on the bullhucker.com. If you watch this on YouTube, on the bottom right-hand corner is a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bad boy. It's a little click for you, but a big click for us. No matter what you're listening to this on, what platform, please like and subscribe to the Bullhucker Podcast. Matt will hug you on the street if he sees you. Now, also, Randy, is there a website or a Facebook, or what's your preferred way of getting a hold of your stuff?
You can get with us on Facebook, Instagram. Just look up Colorado Springs Wrestling.
Okay.
Find us everywhere. We've been on the news, we've been on the radio, we've been on all 4 television networks. Just Colorado Springs Wrestling. Search it, you're gonna find us, guaranteed.
Hell yeah,
that's awesome, man. And also, I'll get the links from Randy. And so, if you want to check this more of this out here in Colorado Springs, on the description of all this stuff, YouTube or whatever you're listening to this on, it'll be a clickable link.
Absolutely.
In the description, so you can go right to the Facebook and check out this. I'm excited for this tonight.
This is a treat, man.
Yeah.
I'm not only the podcast, which I'm very excited for, Mr. Ruthless. I am so excited to watch some people lay a smackdown this evening.
Right.
You guys are going to get to see a 30-man battle royal tonight. Okay, not just
sold.
The one person I don't want to see this is Adam. The other there's 3 co-hosts. There's Matt, Adam, and Dance. Yeah. Adam was actually into the pro wrestling for a while in his youth. Adam is 6'5", 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was wanting to be here so bad, but it's Easter tomorrow. And he's like, do you think they let me go in the ring? I'm like, I don't think so, man. I know. When you're doing comedy, you just allow people on stage. Like,
got to sign some forms, I think, before you show up.
Right, yeah. There's a little bit of training that goes into getting in my ring before that day happens.
Well, he's trained. He knows how to do it. He's you know what? We're old. I'm a year older than him, so I can say it's your old.
The spirit's willing, but the body's laughing at you.
That happens. That's awesome. Well, we're going to get in some stories. Are you ready to tell some stories?
Sure, why not?
And after the stories, stick around. We're going to talk a lot about this wrestling. You're going to fill us in. I got a lot of questions. You?
Oh, I cannot wait to dive into. I want to know about the personas and things, but we won't get into it right now. All right?
Well, you look like you got 1 or 2 in that brain of yours.
Couple,
so,
a couple.
What's wrong with that, bro?
I don't like
when one gets boring.
It's a beautiful brain,
you know? Right? Yeah.
That's when you get a hotel. They're like, how many guests? I'm like physically, or how many voices in my head?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right. Well,
it gets expensive.
They're like voices. I'm like, fuck you, Ted.
I love it.
All right, we got 3 stories, man. You want to read them off?
Yes. Okay, give me the paper. We got Hanging at High. Oh, geez, I messed that one up. Hanging at High Noon, Shark Attack at a Show, and Dumpster Disaster.
All right, man. I'm excited. So, you know what, Matt? Welcome back, bro. This is your comeback tour, right?
The belt will come back.
Pick a story, buddy.
I want Dumpster Disaster.
All right. Dumpster Disaster.
Yes.
Huh? All right. So here's the story behind Dumpster Disaster. Being in professional wrestling, I have a lot of connections with a lot of wrestlers all over the place. The ideas we come up with could be pretty over the top sometimes, right? Well, there's a wrestler named Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Used to wrestle in WWE. All right. He was on Monday Night Raw. He's an awesome guy, really, really nice guy. He's like, all right, well, we got this idea. I'm gonna throw you in a dumpster. Okay. And I was like, well, I've seen it done before. Why? And he's like, well, because you're Randy Rude, and they're going to cheer. It'll be a great pop. You're going to love it, brother. You're going to love it. Love it. I'm like, are we going to, like, throw something in there, or is this, like, just raw gutting into a freaking empty dumpster? You know, that because I don't know if you think about the, aspects of this, that's going to hurt.
Right.
If there's nothing in that thing, it's going to really hurt, especially someone like me that's, yes, I'm a promoter. No, I'm not a professional wrestler. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And he's like, well, we'll throw some cardboard in there. We'll tear it up and stuff. So it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be hot shit. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And we're just like, well, I mean, if the fans will cheer, the fans will cheer. That's my biggest thing. It's like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Show's going on, gets to the spot, open up the top of the dumpster, go in. Wouldn't you know it, the one spot I landed is where, like, the cardboard just wasn't quite sitting. So I just...
Oh, no. Like, there was no cardboard underneath.
No, you could hear it. The crowd could just hear that, that smack. Luckily, it was the end of the show because that was pretty insane. Like, it hurt really, really bad.
Yeah.
He felt horrible.
You know what that was? That was Ruthless.
That was ruthless. That was insanely ruthless. So luckily, like I said, into the show, close the lid, just roll the dumpster off, and then pull me out and watch me cry backstage. But that was a major dumpster disaster right there. That,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be glorious, and okay, from the fans' eyes,
Exactly what I was going to say.
it was amazing. On video, absolutely amazing. To my spine, that really sucked.
But you know what's funny is when you watch this stuff, let me take a step back. I talked about this with Adrian. People say wrestling's fake all the time, and I want to clarify, it's scripted.
Yeah, I'm about to say, well, we don't say the F word around here. We call it scripted.
No, it's scripted.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the beatings are real.
Beatings are very real.
Absolutely, yes.
I got a guy out there setting up the ring right now who has a metal bar in his collarbone from last month that, you want to say it's not real. He's out there setting up the ring. I mean, he's out of the ring for quite a while. Shout out to Type 1 Warrior.
What's up, Type 1?
Yeah.
Type
so,
1.
He's a young kid with a huge future, but unfortunately, accidents do happen.
Sure.
This is a competitive sport. He injured his collarbone, had to have surgery, so he's got a metal plate in there. He'll be out for a little while, but it's a brotherhood too, so
Right.
he's still out there doing his thing.
That's awesome.
That's where, yes, we kick the living shit out of each other. That's the best way to describe it. We come up with some crazy ideas that we throw at each other. I mean, I personally, with another partner named Romeo, came up with this idea where we combine burlesque and wrestling, combat and cabaret. It's a show we do every 3 months. Very 21 and up. Very 21 and up.
Of course.
But everyone would laugh at us when we first told them, hey, we're going to do this. Well, now it's the hottest selling ticket when we announce another one of those shows. They
That's
sell
awesome.
out so fast.
Because it's original.
It is very original.
Right? It's unique.
Exactly. We found one place in San Francisco that does it, and it's not even close to the same style that we do. So it's a very original, and especially for the area, it's something that nobody else is doing.
Right.
So
But my point was, it's scripted, not not fake.
Yeah.
And when I saw Adrian Grimm the first time we went and saw him in Denver, man, I was shocked. I mean, he took a chair to the face. I was like, good Lord, Adrian.
Yeah.
Fuck me,
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it was cool. And for you to land in that garbage bin, people in the audience were, I guarantee, being like, well, how'd they make that happen? Like, that looks so real. Because it was real.
Yeah.
He's got the broken spine to prove it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, and Grimm's a tough son of a bitch, too. I mean, he wrestles for me every month on multiple shows I do, has for, a couple years now. And he'll be in the backstage, and you'll see him just stand there and kind of grin with his back, and then as soon as that camera hits, it's time to whoop some ass. And he's the toughest son of a bitch out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's a good man.
Before we jump, I'm going to make a note to myself because I need to know more about that cabaret and wrestling thing at the end of this because that is fascinating to me.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it. What do you think about that story, man?
I mean, it's I used to trust my intuition about people, and after my losses, I find that I may be at a loss myself. And so I'm not entirely sure. I like it, of course, but I can't tell.
It's a great story, and it's based in wrestling, which we're here to see today, which I'm really into. But it was short and sweet, man. So but it's hard to guess on the first one. I got to hear a second story out of you to kind of judge on how you tell them each. So it's a good story, though, man. Do you go outside for the dumpster? Or they wheel a dumpster in.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, see, if you look outside the door over here, there's a huge area right here where we set up our shows out there sometimes in the summer, and we can put a massive crowd out there. So we set the ring up in the middle of that area, and it's an outdoor event at that time.
Right. Oh, sick.
So, and, which, like I said, once summertime hits, we always try to hit at least one or two outdoor events.
Right.
During the pandemic era, that was the only way we were allowed to do shows.
Oh, man.
So we did 6 of them in a row.
Wow.
And dumb luck, especially in Colorado, all 6 months the weather was perfect. And we were able to pull off shows outside for the fans.
That's awesome. So, good for you guys. That's awesome, man.
That just to let you know how a dumpster got into the area. We do shows outside of this venue as well.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. They wheeled that bad boy in. I was like, this is for real.
And well, then a question that comes into my mind immediately: was it a used dumpster, like it was dirty, or was this like a clean one that you got? Like, hey, we're calling Waste Management; they're bringing it down for you.
We ain't got the kind of money to be bringing in a clean dumpster, man. We got here, and it was like, look, the thing's empty. And it was like, I got an idea. So we're like, hey, can you guys wait to throw your trash until the end of the show?
Yeah, right.
So, because I didn't want to get thrown on trash, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what's
get a needle out your elbow or something crazy like.
Who knows what you're getting thrown in at that point?
Yep.
So,
Well, doctor, what do you think? Well, Mr. Rude, good thing is your spine's good, but the hepatitis is going to be a bitch for the rest of your life. So enjoy that.
I'm going to give you some cream. Where do I put it? Everywhere.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. How long? We'll get into the wrestling. So
I know. I want to talk about the wrestling stuff
too. You're good.
We'll get there. Okay. Well, that was dumpster disaster.
I dig it.
I want to hear Shark Attack at a show.
Yeah, for sure.
Shark Attack at a show, huh? All right. So we're doing a show, obviously outside event, just by the name, right? Mm-hmm. So it's an outside event. Show's going on. It was right by shark area, shark water attack area. Mm-hmm. They warned us, but we're wrestlers. We don't care. If you study professional wrestling, you'll find out it's not more of a warning as a challenge accepted when it comes to professional wrestling. Obviously, by a dumpster.
Right, right.
You guys are going to see some stuff tonight that you're going to go, huh, okay. That we pulled off vampires versus luchadors.
What in the world? I'm in.
That's what professional wrestling is. So,
sold.
We were doing this thing where it's like, look, you're gonna take a bump or get hit, which Randy Rude does quite a bit. I get beat up, hundreds cheer. It's how life goes on in society. We're doing this show. It's a great show. Soon as I get outside the ring for my spot, all right, well, there's a shark. Don't go out there. I'm like, well, there's a whole lot of people here, damn it. And if I don't go into the water, it literally ruins everything we've been building for 3 fucking months.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the shirt. I'm like, you can't not. If you have Ruthless on your shirt.
One thing you'll understand about me is when it comes to story, when it comes to this is what we have been building up to, when it comes to a payoff, which is, this was at our October event, so it's our Slam Bash. It's a payoff show. That's where all the stories like end, new ones begin. It's a payoff show.
Okay.
This spot had to happen. I said, no, whatever, screw it. I don't see it. I don't see one.
Right.
Took the spot, stand up, look over. There's a fucking shark.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I freak shit, and the damn thing pretty much attacked me. Okay, I'm perfectly fine, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, I got attacked by a shark at a wrestling event. Okay, that's why when Adrian said to bring me on your show,
Yeah.
there's some stories here that can go pretty insane. I was perfectly fine. Like I said, it actually didn't get me.
Right.
Okay, but I did technically get attacked.
That's awesome.
Crowd didn't freak out, thank God. Actually, they cheered they thought it was scripted.
So you guys hired a shark and...
Yep, yeah, because, that's what a wrestler does is he hires a shark, right?
Right.
Who because, I mean...
Where's the shark trainer? Where's the damn trainer?
Where's
now,
the shark
see,
trainer at?
technically, back in the 1800s, they used to have wrestlers versus bears.
What?
Oh, yeah, look it up online. That is 100% fact.
Mm-hmm.
People would buy a ticket to watch a wrestler wrestle a bear at a show. So, just saying.
And then they watch the bear have dinner.
I was going to say, they probably don't have a lot of ancestry down the line since
A lot of wrestlers died in the 1800s.
I was going to say.
Because of a promoter going, hey, I got a great idea, man.
Tag team ostriches. And,
yeah, you're huge. Of course you could take a bear.
Right.
But so we learned we won't do that one again. I've got a list of mark that under shit I don't do.
Can't go provoke sharks into
we don't do that one again. Yeah, that one's a soup. That's gonna be a hard no.
That's a bucket list item. It seems like just check. Handle.
Okay. Well, I'll call it a bucket list item because I can mark it off.
Yeah, you can mark it off.
If I hadn't had it happen, I'd be like, look, that's some dumb shit. All right, because you step back and after the show's over, you just kind of stand in the backstage and go.
Yeah, for real.
Like, holy crap, how'd I pull that off?
Yeah.
I do that every month, to be honest. So we could do quite a few episodes of this to tell you the truth.
Nice.
Just on wrestling. That's not including my other things that I've done in life, my music career. Right. Like I told you earlier, I have 10 albums out. I've done shows with Tech Nine, with Insane Clown Posse. That alone right there can give you some stories just in doing some concerts with those guys.
I want to dive into that too.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we could definitely have a lot of fun with this. But that one always sticks very near and dear in my heart because it was the birthday show for the company. So I thought it was going to be something super cool. I went stupid above and beyond. My wife hates when we have our big payoff shows. Because she's like, here's the budget. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's not going to happen.
Baby, we can't buy a shark for this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm like, do you know how much a shark costs? More than a tiger. We were all stuck at home. We saw that show. It's expensive for that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. I don't.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, the Tiger King.
I never
The
watched
Tiger
it.
King
on Netflix. So
it's worth it.
Yeah, when the pandemic first hit and everyone was locked up at home, everybody watched that show because, well, you were stuck at home. You had nothing left.
What else
There was
is there
nothing
to
else you could do. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But good Lord. And I'd like to say that was the last dumb thing I'll ever do in the business, but that's a super hard lie. Because next month, I guarantee my rider, which you guys will meet later on today, Chongo, when he gives me this crazy look in his eyes, and he's like, I got an idea, brother. I just kind of take a deep breath and go, all right, what are we doing? You know.
Hey, but real quick, shout out to the guy who wrestled the bear in the 1800s. Okay, let's not forget his sacrifice. Just gonna say that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there was quite a few of them. Quite a few. It was actually quite a big spectacle they used to do back in the 1800s, like a circus extra.
I'm like, those bears had to be trained at some level, right? They wasn't just like they captured a bear and then put a guy in a ring with it. I hope.
I would hope they're trained, but at the same time,
1800s.
It's still a bear.
Yeah, no, it's still a bear.
I don't care how trained it is.
How much does a bear weigh? God,
a ton at least.
A lot more than the biggest, baddest wrestler.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to wrestle a bear, you got to be in shape, which means you're not going to be even close to the same weight, even a small bear.
Right.
And the pictures you see from then, they were not small. They were big bear.
Okay, see, that's where my head was going at, was like, you could just get, red pandas as an example.
No.
Those are like dog-sized. And so an adult man wrestling a dog-sized bear.
These guys would take on like grizzlies.
No, I'm out.
Yeah.
Can't do
big bears.
You got to be drunk to do that shit.
Oh, you get their big wooden tankard and just smash it down. Oh, those burly guys.
And people in the 1800s weren't as big as they are now.
That's true.
Not even close.
And they weren't as muscular. I mean,
there was no type of genetics or gyms or even equipment like there is now that there was. Like, back then, it was like you said, like they carried jugs up the mountain and back down. How did you? I did that 15 times a day, and now look at me.
Right.
Now
I'm
there is
swole.
a wrestler by the name of Brock Lesnar.
Right.
That everyone knows who that man is, and he started by carrying a telephone pole on his shoulder. He would jog 1 mile, roll it around his neck onto the other arm, and then jog a mile back home. That was just one of his his regiment was created by him on a farm. And you seen that man, that's a freakishly, So just saying, there's still some out there that believe in the old-fashioned way.
Glenn Miners he was a rookie with the Broncos last year.
Yeah,
he's the Division III kid that was drafted out of some butt shit state, and his dad was a logger up in I want to say Montana.
Yeah,
and he would carry logs up and down that. And I love it. They call him the gut because he's got a beer gut.
Yeah,
but he's just mean as shit. Like this guy, you see him if you watch football. He blocks people for 30 yards. I mean, he just takes this guy and just takes him down.
Like Bobby Boucher?
Well, no, I mean, he'd hit people, but this guy, there's just some guys that are just naturally badasses. I mean, not to take on a bear, I don't know. That's like, who's that wrestler that was in the longest yard? The great
Khali.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, that guy would probably get slaughtered by a bear. I mean, he's big, but he's slow.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a good guy and all, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he'd probably get worked up pretty fast.
I wouldn't fight him.
Yeah, no,
exactly. No. Nope.
All right, that's a good story. It's Shark Attack of the show.
I have to ask a question about it, though.
Yes.
I need to know this. Do you know the type of shark?
I didn't ask it. To be
well, because I know they're different levels of pricing. Like nurse sharks are $12,000.
Randy didn't ask for its ID.
I was just thinking it'd be curious. Like, no, we want a great white. We don't want a hammerhead.
I didn't hold it, take a good look, or we didn't get a selfie, nothing like that, man. No,
right.
So
I'd have been all.
It was more along the lines of holy fucking shit.
There's a shark.
Please, somebody save me.
Wow.
Good God. Yeah. So I saw teeth.
I saw teeth.
That's enough. That's
enough to say. Yeah,
Fair enough.
You win.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't.
No, that's okay. I was just curious.
Now you make me wish I knew what kind of was, but no.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Where was this at?
So that was off the coast down in California.
Okay.
So off the Bay Area.
Nice.
Wow.
It's so when you're that's the other thing, when you're not at home, you really go above and beyond because you want to come back.
You put on.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I've been around comics a lot. We did like I told you earlier, we'd booked Adam and I for almost 10 years of comedy before COVID hit. And I know it's a big thing with comedians is to expand your base of people you know. Is that the same in wrestling then?
Absolutely. My wife absolutely hates it because everywhere we go, this is how I'm dressed. I've got the logo tattooed on me. We do get stopped at Walmart, at the mall. People want to take a picture, or if I see somebody wearing a wrestling shirt. My kids my birthday was last weekend, and my kids took me to the zoo. guy was wearing a wrestling shirt, and I was like, hey, we got live wrestling next weekend. And he goes, what, CSW? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I want tickets, bro. So
that's very cool.
I always get asked who's my favorite fans because I have a lot of them. And I always say the next one that comes through the door.
That's awesome.
That's my favorite fan.
That's cool.
So like I said, anything I can do to entertain the fans, I'll do it.
That's cool, man. All right.
Hell yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's the one I want to be true the most.
So far.
Yeah, of the two that we've heard. I mean, the dumpster thing is badass, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But wrestling a shark at an event, not as in like I was surfing having fun. No, I chose to get in the water with a shark and try and fight a shark.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah. How could you not love that?
It'd be better if you were wrestling someone else and people are screaming about shark and you think they're just cheering you on. Like, no, Randy.
Yeah, and it's like, no, seriously, they're trying to warn your
It's
ass.
right there.
You're about to become lunch, you dumbass. No, I'm not that cool. I'm not that cool.
You'd go out in a blaze of glory, though, man. You'd be just
Right.
like
They
this
would-
until
That memorial show would be sweet for me. That's the
man.
brain of a wrestler right there.
RIS, rest in shark.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. One story left. We have hanging at high noon.
Yeah. Hanging at high noon. So we're actually going to go out of the wrestling world for this one.
Sweet.
We're not even going to go to my music world for this one. Another thing I was a gunfighter at a western town. I played the outlaw for 2 years. 6 days a week, 7 shows a day. I was the guy that was the bad guy in front of thousands and thousands of people. It was pretty sweet, to be perfectly honest. It's really that was my first taste at getting into show business. Because this is before the music, this is before the wrestling.
How old are you about?
Right now?
No, at the time, how old were you?
I was about 20 years old.
Okay.
And it was. I got on at Buckskin Joe. That was the name of the place, was Buckskin, because you'll hear me say that quite a bit.
I remember that. Where's that at?
Up by the Royal Gorge.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that-
I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I've seen the bill. They have billboards everywhere.
How about
yeah.
that?
Well,
Okay.
and
Okay.
hundreds of movies were filmed there.
Yeah.
I mean, John Wayne, Sam Elliott, Tom Selleck, Matt Stone, and Trey Parker.
Cool.
They filmed Cannibal the musical there. Just so you know. While I worked there, by the way, we'll throw that in there.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
As a matter of fact, the noose that they hung Trey Parker with in the movie Cannibal the Musical is the same noose they used to hang me 6 days a week with. The exact same harness,
That's
the
very
same
cool.
noose. I was there when they gave him the rundown. Here's how you do it, which there's not a lot to that when you get hung.
Right.
It's the harness was pretty much like, think 1970s backpacks before they cared about putting any kind of padding on there.
Great.
Okay, just the thin strap, right? So that's all that harness was. It went over your shoulders, through your legs, and had a ring on the back. You're nice and safe. You ain't gonna hang or nothing, but anything in between those two straps is gonna do this right here, and it's not fun at all. So when they were warning him, I'm just kind of backstage like, okay, bro, you're not gonna have fun. And they had to do it like 15 times. And every time they drop him, I was like, I feel your pain, because I did it every day. As a matter of fact, I actually lived on the park, which was kind of cool because they had apartments on the top of the houses, the buildings.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the gunfighters and some of the other employees were allowed to stay there if they wanted. So a few of the gunfighters and we lived at the park, so that when it closed down, 6-pack of beer and group of guys sitting out on the boardwalk in a western town, still in our cowboy gear. It was a cool ass kind of, cheesy way to call it a day.
Right.
We did it every single damn day because why wouldn't you?
Sure.
Right. Not going to say some of the horses may have came out of the corrals after a certain point in time. Bet you I could beat your ass at a race.
Right.
But one of the great things that we used to get about Buckskin Joe was celebrities come through there all the time. They loved coming in. Not just for filming, but just to come to the town. They wanted to see this town because a lot of movies have been done there.
Right.
Mostly John Wayne's movies is the big thing that would pull people in. everybody wants to see where John Wayne filmed a movie, where he had a straight up gun shoot down on the street.
Yeah.
You want to see those types
Hell
of
yeah.
things.
My grandfather was a massive fan, dude. Massive.
Yeah. Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott, all those guys like that, they have a ton of Westerns that were filmed there.
Nice.
Conager, the Sackics, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Paul Hogan, the guy who plays Crocodile Dundee, filmed a movie while I was there called Lightning Jack.
Wow.
So
You're dating yourself on that one, bud.
I know. Well, it was a while ago, okay, so it is a great place to work. And I eventually became the head gunfighter. I always played the main bad guy because they always had the most lines. They had the most character action with the fans and all that. Well, there was one actor that every year would surprise the gunfighters and the fans and just show up and want to do gun shows with us. And that was Sam Elliott. From the show The Ranch on Netflix, it's Sam Elliott. We all know.
Yeah, we all know Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
right.
The mustache.
The mustache. The narrator to the Lebowski. Like, it's Sam.
Right.
One of the greatest Western actors of all time. Tombstone. Okay, so I'm up in the dressing room getting ready, and they come up. They're like, "Look, Sam Elliott's here. He's gonna be doing gunfights with you today. We're gonna do the hanging. He's gonna be the sheriff, so he's gonna hang you today."
Nice.
Wow.
And then they just walked out of the dressing room. They didn't wait for my response or nothing. They just left, and I'm just sitting there by myself, looking around like, "Am I getting punked right now?" That was possibly the most awesome thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Right.
And I got ready, got dressed, go downstairs, walk out of the building. There's Sam Elliott, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" They were not lying. And he, how's it going?
Right.
One more time.
I do his voice horrible.
How's it going?
Yeah, like there is not anyone else that can lower that deep, right?
Yeah.
It takes at least like 15 cores, before you can get down to
Right.
So met the man, super down to earth, great guy, amazing guy. To be honest,
that's cool.
He's as cool as you would hope he is. That's one of those types of situations. We did one gunfight, got the nerves out of my system. Like, all right, cool. He just shot me with a shotgun. Kind of laid there in the street, like, oh, that was awesome. Got my fanboy shit out of my way, and we get to high noon, and it's hanging time, and I know that there's some super serious dialogue between me and the sheriff on the gallows right before he pulls the switch, where I've got to yell at him and say, I'll never forget the lines. I'm just standing there handcuffed and look at him right in the eyes, and I said, "Screw you, lawman, I'll see you in hell." And he just looked at me through his mustache. I swear to God, like it was the most epic moment in my life, where he just looks at me and goes, "Maybe, but you're gonna be there first." And then he pulled that switch, and as I dropped, I went, "Well, that was possibly the greatest moment of my life." I'm hanging there.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, home run. It was such a great moment. We ended up doing a few more shows that day because it was noon. We still had a few more shows to go. And then after the park was closed, sure as shit, we drank Coors and ate red chili. Cowboy as it gets.
That's awesome.
With Sam Elliott.
With Sam Elliott.
Every woman in my life is jealous of that story.
Yeah. It was a long time ago, but man, that was probably my coolest moment working there at Buckskin Joe.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty badass moment.
Yeah.
That'd be a moment.
It's one of my coolest moments of my life. Let's just call it what it is.
Sam Elliott's one of the coolest motherfuckers walking on the planet right
Yes.
now.
And I can tell you, he's as cool as you would hope he is.
Right.
So
you ever have a discussion with your wife on what's the old Friends show where you're allowed to cheat with a celebrity?
The list?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's another episode that we could have
Hall
right
Pass?
there. Yeah, the hall pass or the list.
Yeah.
We can have a whole nother episode about that with my wife and I, and some hilarious stories with some of the celebrities we've met.
Well,
So
the girl I just broke, my ex-girlfriend, we had that talk, and I said, Jennifer Garner's mine. She's like, Sam Elliott. I go, really? Because he's an older man, but she's like, He's the sexiest man. I can hear you, by the way. I can hear you
Yeah.
right now, you know.
You're like shaving your goatee real quick.
Yeah. She's like, no, I said it.
Yeah.
He shows up, you're getting cheated on. I go, that's fair.
I know. I'd be like, well, yeah, no, because if you don't, I will. It's Sam Elliott. Let's call it what it is.
I'm taking advantage of a situation. All right.
Exactly.
That's a crazy good story, man. What do you think about that one?
I mean, how can you top getting hung by Sam Elliott?
You can't.
There's no way. I mean, and I'm like, just learning more about your life in the short time I've known you today, man. I was like, that would have been a peak for a lot of people, and somehow you just ratcheted it up and up and up.
That was 22 years ago.
I know, and that's friggin' amazing.
I was gonna ask your age because that's you kind of dated yourself with a few references. There.
Yeah.
Back when we were watching the talkies.
Yeah, well, and that sucks is you didn't have a cell phone any kind of to take a picture or have
selfie out.
The worst part about the Buckskin Joe's days is there is literally like 4 pictures from my time there.
Wow.
There was no cell phones with cameras.
right.
You know, people took pictures. I have a poster from with me and my brother who passed away, who was a fellow gunfighter with me.
Sorry, man.
Thank you. Yeah. But I also get to say my brother and I got paid to play cowboys and got real guns. So that's
pretty cool.
Can't pass on that.
Yeah. Like we used to look at each other and go, this is kind of a sweet gig.
Right.
So
how did you land that gig?
My mom. That's the weirdest. I know that's such a really, bro. But I took my mom to Cripple Creek just one day just to go gambling. She got a newspaper in Canyon City, and she's like, "Hey, they're hiring gunfighters at Buckskin Joe." As you guys can tell, I don't really look at what you would consider a cowboy.
Right.
And I went, "Oh, okay." Yeah, all right, whatever. And all day long, all day, she's like, "You should apply. You should apply. You should apply." I was like, well, fine. On the way home, I was like, fine. I'll stop there on the way home. It's on the way. I'll get an application if you'll leave me alone. She's like, yes. Well, I go and ask for an application. Turns out I talked to the owner of the place. He kind of looks me up and down. I had really long hair at the time, just so you guys got a visual. Like, I'm talking down to my waistline.
Attaboy.
Black hair, just jet black, look, like I could definitely pull it off. And he goes, we could hang you. Come back on Monday for audition. And he just tells me to come back on Monday and try out. And I walked back out to the car and told my mom, well, I think I just got the job.
Right.
She's just like, I told you they'd hire you.
So I've known you for 20 years. Believe me, hanging you's not a...
I will gladly pull the switch at least a couple times for you. And then my brother that ended up working there with me drove me there for my audition and was sitting on the sidewalk, on the boardwalk, kind of talking trash about some of the guys auditioning. And like, man, that wasn't very good. And the guy's like, well, if you think you can better, why don't you come down and do it? And he did. And they offered him a job too.
That's
so
cool.
That's
cool.
how he ended up getting his job. So
that's cool.
That would be such an amazing job.
Well, I mean, the Sam Elliott thing alone. It's this on this podcast. There's been a lot of people that have had like celebrity run-ins. It's crazy the people you
random.
Yeah, it's so random, so random. So
in the most odd places as well.
Sure,
absolutely.
What'd you think about that?
I mean, the shark thing still is running around in my head a little bit, but now I'm like trying to find a way to connect Sam Elliott and a shark in the same thing, like give a shark a mustache and have it attack,
right,
or dress it up in cowboy clothes and have it go do a gunfight. I mean, but no, so I've been to this place. My grandparents lived down in Howard, Colorado, just outside of Salida.
Okay,
and so it's just like a hop skip to go in that direction. I went when I was a little kid, and I'm like, I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with that place. So
it's an amazing place.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
And then to have these amazing interactions with random people like Sam Elliott, of all things, the line, that's what's sticking with me more than anything else. The line when he's on the gallows and he's ready to get dropped.
Yeah,
can't pass on that.
I mean, look at Tombstone, man.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
On another level. What did you think?
I liked it. A lot of detail in that one. So that's me.
You like to read that detail.
In.
I do. I usually go for the ones with the least amount of detail. That's usually because with the detail you can tell, and you're very passionate about that story. You've been passionate about all three of them, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Well, I don't know.
You also caught me as we're setting up for a wrestling show, so I am in full blown mode. So
Yeah,
that's making that took the difficulty.
He's hyped up.
You guys are at a final boss level type of spot right here. You know,
Final boss.
not the final boss, Bruce Wayne's, who happens to be a wrestler for us. That'll be here later.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
How many? We're going to get to it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the wrestling?
Yes.
Okay, so what we do now, Randy, is we paper, rock, scissors to see which one of us has to try and guess first. It come to our attention, this podcast, people do it two different ways. How do you rock, paper, scissors? Do you go boom, boom, and then show, or rock, paper, scissors, show?
I do 1, 2, 3 show.
So you use a 4-pumper, a dirty 4-pumper, Randy Rude. Ugh.
Yes.
Ruthless. That's ruthless to you,
That
Larry.
fourth pump is ruthless.
Exactly.
I ain't got time for the extra pump shit. So we're gonna go 4 pumps. Are you ready?
4 pumps.
Damn it! You've been very good about this lately. You've been very good at the rock, paper, scissors.
Well, I traded the winning in rock, paper, scissors, not be able to tell anybody who's fucking lying anymore.
This guy was amazing. Like the first how many episodes. Like I was like, you're gonna face Matt today. I tell people. So good luck. Son.
And went downhill. We'll see how today goes.
All right, let's see. I'm curious.
You know, although I am leaning towards the high at noon, hanging high at noon, because that Sam Elliott, that's a pretty bold.
That's up there.
That's up there.
Yeah, that's a bold. Because sometimes this will be episode. I need to do the math on it. 65 or something.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few episodes, and there's been times where a lot of detail has burned me because someone has came and they've thrown out such a crazy
detailed story.
So I'm leaning towards that one. It's either that or the dumpster disaster. Although I really liked it, it is very short and sweet. So you know what? I'm gonna go with hanging at high noon
As the lie.
as the Bullhucker. Yeah.
Ooh, see, I'm on the fence. I think that's true. I think that one's true.
Okay.
The one that I'm still flipping back and forth on, and I'm like, the way I was interpreting it, I think one of these was borrowed. And I cannot put my finger on which one exactly. This one is so absurd that I think it's one of those like throw off the trail ones. But like
It's a trap.
exactly.
Okay.
And that's why I'm like, I think it might be dumpster disaster.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to dumpster disaster?
I'm committing to dumpster disaster.
I'm going to go with hanging at high
Dumpster
noon.
disaster, huh? Yeah. And hanging at high noon, huh?
Whip that bad boy out. Let's see what you got.
I'm back, baby. I'm back, baby.
Damn it. Ah!
All right, so now I can give you the full details on the shark attack.
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
I had to get that out.
Well, first of all, why is that fake?
So my brother, actually, he is a wrestler, Duke the Dumpster Drosy, great guy, amazing friend of mine. Actually, he's out in Tennessee, but he's actually hasn't come out here and worked with me yet. We're planning on bringing him out, but he has wrestled for WWE. He has wrestled, like all that part was true.
Right.
The dumpster story was completely taken from like 3 or 4 different WWE gimmicks. But
All
yeah,
right.
But that I use that also as a cheap pop. Just what up, Duke? So give him a quick shout out. It's gonna be a
Word.
All right, so now I can fill you in on the shark attack.
Oh man, I can't. I'm
So,
so glad this is true.
That's why I
dude.
had to be extremely vague about this because it is technically true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't give you details on the shark that attacked me.
Oh, yes.
You asked what kind of
Yeah,
shark,
yeah.
and I said I didn't really know. That's because it was a wrestler that goes by the name of Shark Boy that attacked me.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was at our October event. All that part was completely true. The whole thing about it, he did attack me in the ring and
awesome.
left me laying for the fans to see. Shark Boy actually wrestles on TNA. He's been on WWE. He's been on all those shows like
Oh,
that.
that's sick, man.
So he was quite a big name that we brought in.
That's cool.
And they had told me, hey, Shark Boy's going to get So Shark Boy does a perfect Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation.
Oh, cool.
His voice, he even does the stunner. That's his finishing
Oh,
move.
sick.
Nice.
So they were like, look, Shark Boy's going to give you a stunner in front of everybody. And I was like, okay, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he did, gave me a stunner. I flopped over, laid in the ring, and just looked up at the sky going, oh, that's one of the greatest moments that'll ever happen in my life.
Oh, yeah. That's very cool.
Awesome.
I even did the Stone Cold talk. He's like, oh, you dumb son of a bitch. Bam!
Bam!
I was like, oh, yeah. I heard people screaming their heads off.
Oh, that is so sick.
But what's really cool is the hanging at high noon was a true story.
That is absolutely true, guys. That's what got me into show business was working at Buckskin Joe, meeting celebrities. I met a whole bunch of them there, but that will always be the one that stays very high in my list.
Rightfully so, dude. That
Absolutely.
is so amazing.
That's cool. Well, now the question I want to ask you. You said you had a question earlier.
I have so many.
Okay,
here's so many questions.
Let's start from the ground up, man. How did you get started in wrestling?
It's been my entire life, guys. I grew up in southern Colorado here, down in Pueblo. Back when I was a kid, this was territory wrestling. There wasn't just WWE. There was every state was part of a territory. This was AWA territory, and every other Saturday they had wrestling down in Pueblo at the city auditorium. And my dad and my grandpa would take me and my brothers. We'd go every other Saturday. I've seen the Iron Sheik wrestle so many times it's ridiculous.
The camel clutch, baby.
And it's been my entire life. My wife brought me to a CSW event. Yeah, I didn't invent CSW. I bought it. But we left the event, and I was like, this is amazing, but it could be even better.
So,
then that's...
You bought it. I mean, was that a whole? You want to make your passion available for reality for other people? What was the?
Well, it was. There's a long story of how that all process got to, but eventually, the people that owned CSW saw how good I was at promoting, how good I was at, keeping fans happy and wrestlers happy. They asked me to run the company. I did it amazing. And then you know what? You want to just buy the thing. We don't even deserve to have the ownership. This is yours.
Yeah.
So my wife and I didn't even flinch, bought the company. Now we've become massive charity drivers. We're doing charity stuff all year long. We have a ton of fans that you guys are going to definitely get to see and meet
That's
tonight.
very cool.
That'll melt your heart and make you realize why the passion's here and why we do what we do every single month. So,
hell yeah,
yes.
I can. That's so fascinating to me.
Yes.
I'm curious. And this is where I think we're going to go more towards inside baseball. Is in the crafting of a persona. Mm-hmm. How do you go about that? Did you have multiple before Ruthless, or was this has been you?
No, I've had a few of them.
Cool.
I originally was known as Mr. Ugly.
Okay,
that was my thing. And actually,
why would you go away from that? That's amazing.
It's good.
Which, by the way, when you see tonight and you see the Ugly World Order, okay, Mr. Ugly, the Mr. Ugly persona was created in 1996. And so when you see the Ugly World Order, that's my shout out back to the original persona that I first did.
Oh, that is sick, man.
So, but then, truthfully, me and a friend hanging out one day watching old wrestling tapes, and this was 22, 23 years ago. Ravishing Rick Rude was walking in the ring, and he just laughs at me, giggling, and goes, "Oh, stupid Ravishing Randy Rude." We both laughed. Then I kind of looked at him and was like, well, I mean, I'm not really ravishing, but I mean, maybe if we change that first word to something, more like me, like Ruthless. And he goes, Ruthless Randy Rude. And that was really how that happened at that moment. We both looked at each other and said, well, that's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I changed everything. Literally the next day, I was like, I'm sorry, but that's just too catchy. I can't walk away from that,
I'll tell you this. You know how I know he's a good promoter? We just met for the first time today. We've been on Facebook. We became friends on Facebook. You were on the phone, and I asked you, Randy, give me hold on. And then I'd asked you something, and you already started pitching me the event tonight. It was good, and I love that. And I really do like that.
Just jumping in.
You started to sell me that event right away.
Yep.
You like, oh, you know what? Have you been to one of these? I said no. I said one at Red and Jerry's. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Ray and Jerry's.
Ray and Jerry's.
Yeah, which I know the guys. I've been on a couple of their events. Good guys.
Right. Yeah. And I go, Ray and Jerry's. You go, oh yeah. Wait. And then you just went into you sold it to me. I mean, and you could tell you did it unconsciously. It's just what you do.
I do it in my sleep.
That's
wrestlers
cool,
give me a hard time. One of them, I'll never forget. He messaged me in the morning. It's like, so did you tell how many tickets did you sell in your sleep last night? And wouldn't you know, I woke up to 7 tickets sold over.
There you go.
And I told him, like, only 7. He goes, you son of a... I am eternally grateful to these fans. I know every single one of them. I make sure to go out there and meet all 200-300 of them that'll be out there tonight. I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't be able to do the charity work I do if it wasn't for them.
Right.
I would just be some dude standing in a ring thinking I'm hot shit. But I am so passionate about giving back to the community, to the fans, to everyone that's involved in just entertainment altogether. Hell, if you look on my Facebook, you'll see I freaking danced in burlesque last weekend.
Attaboy.
Right? I don't give a shit. If it'll entertain the fans, like I said, I'll do anything if I know it's going to make those fans scream, cheer, boo, love, cry. It doesn't matter. If it's going to get an emotion out of them, then it's worth doing.
That's cool.
Love it.
The first two guys I met here, Jalen is one of them. I can't remember. He's from Sterling, by the way.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Look
right?
at that.
And it was cool to listen to their passion.
Yeah, they're trainees at the school at Empower, that's where all of our young guys that want to become a professional wrestler. Because if you want to get in my ring, you have to train. You have to train.
Right.
It is required. It does. You don't get away from it. So, it's as simple as that. Those guys are the future. They will be in my ring one day. They all know that. They come every month. They set that ring up. They're out there right now as we speak. They keep popping around the corner, giving me the look too. Right. So, they want that. They hear those fans screaming and hollering like, man, I want that so bad.
Right.
You know.
And if you're watching the video,
If you're watching the video,
if you're on YouTube, if you're just listening to it, you don't obviously get to see it. But
right.
Throughout this, I've been putting in clips of tonight's show. So you and I are gonna stick around tonight. We're gonna do a few clips so you can kind of check out the show and see what it looks like. And right now we have the tablet out there, hopefully still recording.
Yep.
To see the setup of the ring.
Probably watching everybody freak out. Where the hell is Randy Root at? To be perfectly honest, so.
Or they don't know the tablet. They're like, that damn Randy Root, I'll tell you. Just start bad mouthing. Then we gotta kick the shit out
Probably
of somebody.
my wife. She'll be the one saying the most stuff, to be honest. So.
That's awesome. How many wrestlers are involved with this, man?
We got wrestlers from all over the world that come and wrestle for us, guys.
Right.
Our main roster is probably about 20, 30 guys. But we've got people from all over the country. We're part of the Four Corners territory. Something that I've helped establish and build with Chongo. And he has taken it and just soared with the thing. Gotten wrestling companies from all over Colorado, Utah. We're getting with Arizona, New Mexico. We're going to build some old school back in wrestling is what we're doing. We even made a Four Corners territory championship belt held by Gino Rivera. He's held it for a year now.
Dang.
And, it's just...
That's awesome, man.
Building.
I respect the passion, dude.
Thank you.
I respect that more.
Thank
than
you so
anything.
much.
I think that's cool that you have this, in your heart, man. And that's what it takes.
It takes a lot.
It takes
a lot. This is my 5th week straight that I've been doing shows with sold-out shows every single weekend. And I'm eternally grateful, but I'm also extremely exhausted.
I bet.
That's okay, though.
But we got one more tonight, the Red Rock Rumble.
It's gonna be
an insane show, battle royal with a 4-figure contract on the line for the winner of the show. You can't get much bigger than that in a local wrestling scene. For any independent wrestler out there, a guaranteed 4-figure contract, that's mind blown.
Yeah.
Right.
See, and as you can hear it,
oh, it's getting on.
that is officially my alarm to let me know that I got to get my butt back out there and get these guys going, guys.
Awesome.
Word.
Go ahead.
No. I said word. Literally the word.
So, Randy, once again, we're going to put the link to your Facebook underneath this.
Yes.
Okay, so you can check it out. You can come see this once a month around.
Once a month. We are at Sunshine Studios every single month. It's been our home for 2 years. They're great to us. We're great to them. It's a perfect place, family-friendly, military-friendly, discounts for kids and all active, retired, and vet military. Come out to our show. Have a good time.
You can buy tickets online.
Online. You message me directly on Facebook, and I will personally sell you a ticket.
Awesome.
Ask about 2/3 to 3/4 of those fans out there, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, no, I bought a ticket from Root."
That's cool.
So
awesome. Anything else for you, man?
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate being on the show. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
You know, I do these shows all the time, all over the place. This has definitely been a different one for me.
Awesome.
Especially right before one of my events. That's kind of fun and exciting.
Yeah.
You got me in full ramped mode, ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoy the show tonight. I know a couple of the other guys are going to get with you guys too. And, you know, have fun. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome, Randy. Thank you so much. Once more time, on the bottom right-hand corner is the subscribe button, little red dot. Make sure you hit that. Little click for you, big click for us. You can find all our stuff on the Bullhucker.com as well as Randy's stuff on the Bullhucker.com. And if you look under the tab that says As Seen on the Bullhucker, you'll see drop-down menu. His will be the first one you can pick, and it'll take you right to his stuff, so you can find him. And it's easy to find him. Follow him on Facebook. You have an Instagram?
Yeah, Colorado Springs Wrestling.
Find
That's
them
all
on
you gotta
Instagram and follow this man. Support him. They do a lot of charity work, like he said. So it's something good for the community. It's something family friendly for your kids, man. So make sure you check it out, man. It's a great thing you're doing here, man. So, but hey, thank you so much for coming on. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
Matt Gordon.
Peace out. See ya.